Just like the mountain winds come and the hurricanes come and everything batters it around and it just stays steady. Just like the mountains here that we see. So steady, calm amidst the chaos. This is our opportunity. So now we begin a section 59 through 70, which seems to me like a little bit of a diversion when you go off on a tangent. And it's a whole section on the absurdity of our over-attachment to our bodies. 59 through 70, the whole section is on that. And I was trying to figure out, what does this have to do with gathering virtue? It's boom, right? You know, we've had 4 verses on gathering virtue, and then there's going to be 11 verses on the absurdity of our over-attachment to our bodies. And then someone pointed out to me it was because this is one of the over-attachment to our bodies is one of the biggest obstacles to gathering virtue, because we spend so much time on them and we're so over-concerned. So some of these verses are actually kind of offensive. That's my personal opinion. But as a prelude to this section, there's earlier verses in chapter 3, I think it is, where he gives a beautiful teaching on the 3 main attachments that we have, the 3 major attachments that keep us self-absorbed, that are kind of the basis of staying so self-involved that we can't look out and actually see the suffering of other people or connect with the joy of other people, that we're so focused on ourselves that we lose our heart connection with people. We have heart connection with those close to us, but not with people that are neutral, the many, many people that we're indifferent to in the world, the people we don't know. And then there are other people that we actively dislike. And he says, you know, this is all based on our self-absorption. And so Buddhist teachings in general are trying to shake up that self-absorption because it's considered to be the source of suffering. Now, self-absorption is different from having a good relationship with ourselves. A good relationship with ourselves, as I quoted or referred to Zero Control's teachings, is crucial to the spiritual path. A kind of sane, open-heartedness to ourselves and to our mind, to our open-heartedness to ourself and to our being, how we are. Some kind of self-compassion that's big enough to allow for self-reflection. Our heart and mind can be big enough to be able to see that we make a lot of mistakes, and we can learn from that rather than criticize ourselves. So a good relationship with ourselves is really the basis. Self-absorption is different. It's not a good relationship with ourselves. It's a neurotic relationship with ourselves. Self-absorption, or it's usually called ego clinging, is fear-based. We just live trying to get comfortable no matter what. And sometimes if we're uncomfortable enough, we're willing to step on a lot of other people's, not only their toes, but also their heads, in order to stay comfortable ourselves. People under duress, kindest of people under duress can do some pretty mean things. Because we panic, like, what about me? And the other thing about self-absorption is there's this fear of bad things happening to us, and also this fear of not being able to keep what we want, or not being able to get what we want. And you think about it, that becomes a primary motivation for our life, from little time we're little children all the way through till we die. Just this narrow, very narrow focus of what about me? So this isn't to say, forget about yourself. This is to say, let your hopes and fears and your pleasures and pain be the basis of empathy for other people, so that you could wake out of this narrow focus of self-absorption and help other people do so too. And then the result of that is a feeling at home with yourself instead of always feeling uneasy. Feeling at home with your world instead of always feeling uneasy. Feeling at home with other people instead of always feeling threatened, or there's always threat or promise, you know. So in this section on the body, earlier in the text, when he gives a teaching on the three bases for self-absorption, the things that keep us locked into this self-absorbed view. If the Dharma is that which shakes up the sort of self-absorption, allows us to look out and see that the world is so much bigger than this narrow focus, and that our minds are as vast as the universe, and yet we stay locked into this teensy-weensy little narrow perspective, a fear-based perspective. So the three, but if the Dharma is what shakes it up, it begins to open things out, then what keeps us locked in? He said the three main things are attachment to our possessions. That's considered the easiest to work with. So just think about that. Like we're just, I'm not going to give a whole teaching on it, but we're attached to our stuff. And the second is attachment to our bodies. And then it's interesting, the most difficult one to work with, it said, is not attachment to the body, but attachment to our merit, which means our good fortune, our positive qualities. Like if you think of losing your possessions, well, that freaks you out. If you think about losing your body, maybe that freaks you out more. Although, guess what? We're all going to lose it. Possessions, you can't take it with you. Body, you can't take it with you either. But the hardest to give up, according to this teaching, the one where the clinging is the strongest, is to our good fortune, our merit. And that's why, as Buddhists, we train, even if it's just lip service, to share the merit, to share the merit, to share the merit. So it's kind of trying to shake up this strong attachment to, I like myself better now, and don't mess with me, I have a precious human birth, I have good or outer circumstances, and you live in terror that you're going to lose it, And so to be able to